It's dawn in the dusty provincial capital of Quetta, and thousands of children are starting their day. But they're not on their way to school, and the bags on their backs don't contain books. They're filled with garbage, and these kids are going to work, to pick through trash that has been dumped in the streets. These scavengers are the children of refugees from neighboring Afghanistan. As unregistered residents, their parents can't legally work here, and they can't go to local schools. Instead, they must do back-breaking work for as long as 12 hours a day, walking miles from one dump site to the next, looking for recyclable items that might bring them about 75 cents a day, often all the income a family has. They're as young as 5, picking through the trash among the filth of goats, using their bare hands to find something of value. This boy uses a magnet to collect metal. Even so, he gets cuts from razor blades and other sharp objects.
When I was designing this show, I made very less participants this time because I want to get more knowledge from you, from Charles, and of course, Taisab. Yes, Taisab, there are two questions. The one, please comment what Dr. Rashid Mehta has said. It honestly for me is eye-opening because I'm always against plastic and I'm doing a lot of things against plastic. But now after listening to Dr. Saab, I think we have to love plastic. So your comment, please.
Yeah, I think there are many ways basically. So what exactly is happening now is not the recycling, but upcycling. The people are more pushing to upcycling, like add value to the waste rather than recycling. Like what Dr. Saab was telling was like high-tech recycling mechanisms and techniques. So one has to go community, so there can be multiple levels. So the low tech, medium tech to high tech. So I think what we have in our case, we are not, we are basically technology deficient countries. So we have a capital is a population, we have people. So we have to use them somewhere. So I think to us, what I would suggest is basically more community participation projects where we can involve the local people and basically train them to upcycle all these waste products to change into useful material. And I read a bit of this Charles project with the help of eco villages, I think, something like that. And so basically we have to, that I would like to maybe share a couple of slides, basically not a different ideas. That's everyone Google for 5 minutes, you can have tons of different ideas to upcycle plastic bags, to tires, and to all these PET bottles. So I think these kind of projects can be, but I want to bring another idea into it. If you guys allow me to share 1 or 2 slides, I would not take much, maybe 5.
Sure, please. Yes, please.
So as I said that basically it's not my area of work. I think any person who has a bit of, knowledge of the system in the society can give a lot of suggestions. What I actually want to do is basically to involve the waste pickers into the process, because what we see, the waste pickers, we see every corner of our street and the towns that there are children, women, and other people are involved in this kind of activity where they are what we call scavengers. We call scavengers to animals, basically. So they are living the life of animals. So we should basically bring them into the system, give them respect and train them and skill them to make them, to give them skills so they become more, empowered sections of the society. What I actually would like to say, basically, if you incorporate the Charles project more thoroughly and we train some of the trainers, and then we, with the help of those local trainers, we go into those localities or slums where these waste pickers are living, and then basically involve them to and train them basically how to use these products, different kind of waste products. In what they do, they pick it, put in the plastic bag, and then they sell it as a weight, like 1 kilo for whatever price they sell it. So why not they upcycle them, make them different products, and then there can be some local point where they can sell it, and that sold products can be like within Pakistan, there is a lot of market in the West now for all these upcycle products. And I think this can really add value to their lives. And as well as another part of that project can be to educate their children, which can be a little bit help during those time to the family making these products. And so actually I was looking for some of the these numbers. There are hardly verifiable numbers from Pakistan. So, but there were some numbers coming from 2015 and 16 that there are about 45% of the people are living in slums. And many of those people are involved in this kind of activities in the informal sector of picking waste, trash, or metal trash, whatever they will call it. And there are, you know, many of times we see there in these activities the women and the children are involved, because these families cannot support their bread and butter. So everyone has to work. So, and there are a lot of hazards, whatnot, like starting from health hazard to drug addiction, everything. So what I want to suggest is nothing real, because it's also not very technical. I will just basically all compliment to the Charles project, I think, that he is working on, like train and turn the waste pickers into entrepreneurs. We don't have to train our educated people to do these kind of activities, but these people are already doing this. So instead of just they sell it to a local, you know, shop where they sell the plastic and other stuff for really low value, they can turn them into different products. So there are a lot of different examples. I was so amazed to see. So this is all the plastic bags that Dr. Miyadatsa was talking about. So their solutions are also very valuable, but they're very high-tech solutions. But the low-tech solutions where communities can basically get a lot of, bring a lot of value into their lives, and their lives can change in days. So there are a lot of products which can be made with the plastics, starting from this fancy, nice baskets. So all this, you know, see these plastic cycle base. So basically the most of these things are sold in West, and all of them is made with the plastic bags or PET bottles. So these are the examples which I wanted to show about the plastic bags. And then if we upcycle the PET bottles, tons of different examples that can be used. And very nice thing that I really actually like, one of those two ideas. One is this of small huts, which can be used in all these areas like the Thar, Rajasthan, and all these, you know, the interior Sindh, where the people even not have any kind of a home to live. They have some sticks together and try to live in them. Some kind of these houses can really be very valuable for them. And another thing that actually very strike me a lot, basically almost all parts of the Pakistan, at least I know from Punjab, they're using tunnel forming now. And the PET bottles makes best tunnels in the world, instead of buying the new polythene sheets and making tunnels. So basically these people can provide the like all this with the skill that we can provide them, or our trainers, or the trainer of the trainers can provide them, is to convert these PET bottles into different kind of stuff, more value added stuff that can easily be sold anywhere in the world. So there are big markets for all this stuff. In Pakistan, we can surely have a big market for these parking sheds. Of course, all of the parking sheds in Pakistan most of the time made with this metal sheets or something. So they can make very nice sheds, and importantly, like this greenhouse, small greenhouses for the houses, for vegetable gardens and the tunnels. And then tons of different ideas that can easily be, we can transfer them to those people, kids and the women, which can work from their homes and then produce all this stuff. We just have to establish certain mechanisms for them where this can be sold. So who can buy them? I think in interiors, and a lot of these things are happening for the what we call it, handicrafts, where the women are the different kind of entrepreneurs are involved, and they basically go door to door, or they have some kind of system where they go to door and give them like a toolkit to develop those things, and then they rebuy them from them. So similar things can be done in Pakistan, and I think it will be very valuable. Would be very nice to start more projects like Charles doing. And I think Africa is much more ahead than us, you know, the people of the South Asia or in Asia in general. So we can really learn a lot. So it was amazing thing that is being made with the tires. You know, so all these tires is a bit more expensive commodity. It does not come, like you cannot find it on the trash. But the plastic bags and the PET bottles, everyone, all these waste pickers are picking them every day. Like maybe at least they said 40 to 60 kilo of that plastic they are picking every day from these landfill sites and stuff. But if we want to upscale their skill, we can also train them for these kind of things, which are even much more valuable, and they can be sold for a very good price. I think it was just some of the ideas that I was just looking, because I thought that maybe it would be good. Perhaps everyone knows about it, but we have to channelize it into a particular system maybe,
No,
and
Doctor.
focus it on waste pickers.
Thank you, Doctor. It
So
was
that was all.
excellent. You know, it's very excellent. And before I go to Humaira Iqbal, the Charles, I like to have your comment, because I know we are starting. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have a few questions from Dr. Tahir Ali. A beautiful presentation and ideas, as we all know about it, right? So, like Charles is doing, like these projects will only work in Pakistan, and the sustainability that we are talking about is has to have some sustainable aspect to it. How can you contribute or suggest a project? Because my focus area for such project is remote areas in Pakistan, not cities as you talk about, right? Like maybe in remote area of Saidu Sharif, Swat, or those Fata or those areas where there is some internet connectivity. Because first step is we need to educate them for such products. चाहे आप उर्दू लैंग्वेज में, इफ आई अलाउ चार्ल्स, अगर हम उर्दू लैंग्वेज में आप उर्दू बोल सकते हैं, और हम कुछ खवातीन या यंग स्टूडेंट्स, बिकॉज स्टूडेंट्स हैव द पोटेंशियल एंड मोटिवेशन एंड क्लाइमेट का बहुत, उसमें पाकिस्तान में अवेयरनेस तो हो गई है, बट उससे आगे क्या करना है, अवेयरनेस बहुत हो चुकी है. सो अब प्रैक्टिकल स्टेप्स, डॉक्टर ताहिर साहब, मैं आप जना साहब प्लीज इनसे आप
Sure.
रब्ता करें. इनको एक स्पेसिफिक एरिया हम आइडेंटिफाई केपी में शुरू करवा सकते हैं, जो ये इन्होंने आइडियाज दिए, ताकि फर्स्ट स्टेप ये उन कम्युनिटियों को या उन यूथ नेटवर्क्स को ट्रेनिंग दें, और सेकंड स्टेप में फिर प्रैक्टिकल स्टेप्स आएंगे जो उन्होंने प्रोडक्ट्स दिखाएंगे किस तरह हमने एंटरप्रेन्योर्स बनाना है इनको. सो दैट वाज माय सजेशन. यस, गो अहेड.
जी डॉक्टर साहब, वो पंजाबी में कहते हैं जेड़ा बोले वही बुआ खोले. So now since
I would be happy to do anything, whatever I can contribute, but just to tell that I'm not in Pakistan from last about 10-15 years. So, but I can even come and contribute it physically as well as, but just to tell as an example, from last couple of years, I've been involved with the youth in Pakistan. Basically, I'm an educationist. I taught in Pakistan for 10 years. So I know if we give a little bit, support and help to all these young people in Pakistan, they can do wonders for us. So I've been doing that activity, and during this about 3 to 4 weeks of that activity, I already was able to get about 60 volunteers from different parts of the Pakistan. So what I would suggest, basically, we get in touch with those people and we hand over those people to our trainers like Charles. And when they get training, we provide them a basic toolkit where I can personally, even financially contribute to develop those toolkits, where we give them certain needed instruments and some small, requirement to start a small business or to teach further. Because as Charles said, we can do a lot on internet, but still practical skill has to be developed physically. So our trainers has to go into those communities, and those volunteers would certainly do. They are always happy to do it. We can also support them to develop their business, as well as they can also voluntarily go to the certain communities and pass over their training skills. And again, we see all these pictures. These fancy pictures or fancy things does not develop in a day. We have to learn it. And sometimes it takes weeks and months to make a really nice thing out of something. So I would really suggest we try to first train our local youth and then pass over certain a booklet of skills and plus some instruments we can give them for free, and then they can train other people in Pakistan, and then this will go on, and certainly this will be picked up by people.
Excellent idea, sir. Thank you, Dr. Saab. Thank you very much. And as Madam suggested, I should be in touch with you, but I keep bothering you, every day. So I'm sure soon we'll decide something. Yes, before going towards 𝐬𝐬𝐜𝐤𝐜 𝐤𝐜, Charles, your comment what Mr. Tahir said. Yes, Charles.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tahir Ali, for the great presentation. And one of the key things that in Eco-Clean Ghana, we are looking at it is practicality. We can do everything, provided we avail ourselves to do it. Therefore, one of the things that we teach and enforce is not to only talk or give education and leave it. That is why I am so happy with the way and manner Sadaf and then Ali Jana is handling this waste management training. I'm so happy. One of the key things is stakeholders engagement and partnership. Because without getting certain key stakeholders involved in some of these waste activities, it becomes difficult for the rural people to get their voice heard to the parliament or in the markets. Therefore, I'm so happy with the great work they are already doing in social media and internet, and then also getting in connection with different organizations on how they can bring a lot of resource people to our local people in Pakistan. So what we are looking at is Dr. Tahir. I am happy. I wish we could collaborate more on this, and then we see how best we can support the students who will be taking part in this training. Because the training we give, everybody can start it. You don't need to have money. You don't need to get a mansion. It is something that the communities themselves can turn their waste into resources. Therefore, one of the things that we need to look at is markets. We need to do more advocacy and get people to love the products that these local people will be producing. We already have a lot of plastics, a lot of waste. We say enough is enough with the waste. Let us start upcycling this kind of waste and let's start using it. So this is the kind of campaign we need to do, that hey, enough is enough with our waste. Let's start reusing the waste that we have already produced. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles.
Just to add a line, sorry.
Sure.
And I would really suggest our local partners like Jinasa or Sadaf Agar, if you guys can basically suggest 5 to 10 people, not the people from the educated and elite families, but for the local people, like 5 to 10, I would be able to support them for scholarship money, whatever you sell.
Wow.
Whatever is money. So I would be happy, but the people who we can really bring back to the lives, bring back to real,
I think what we do, we have something like 18 people going to attend Charles' session. So those who pass out, then we'll convert towards Dr. Tahir Ali and see how we can do. So thank you, Dr. Thank you, Charles. Now, before I'm going to talk to our child star, Raheen Fatma, I want 𝐬𝐬𝐜𝐤𝐜 to comment what Dr. Tahir said, Charles and Dr. Rashid Miadha. Yes, Dr. 𝐬𝐬𝐜𝐤𝐜.
Thanks, Jina Saab, and it is very nice and wonderful to listen to all of you. And I'm very much excited that we are very right in place, that we all are like-minded people are here. Just to add into that, like the teaching and the training or awareness programs are very much needed. Currently, the issue which we are facing, like in Pakistan or in other developing countries, like we are going to the linear system. If you say like we are making the things, collecting the raw material, finish the goods, and use those goods and throw them away. So this is very right time that we are going to concrete something valuable and making some important decisions toward the sustainable future. Here I would say share one of example which me and Mr. Jinnah and SDGs Academy team is leading on, and they have started the first ever first program in the history in Pakistan in collaboration with the World Climate School. We are training to the people who are teaching to the other students and giving the awareness about the climate change. And wonderfully, yesterday we had a very great session that all of the students have shared a lot of good project. Some has started after this course actually. Similarly, as Dr. Tahir said, that if he can train 10 to people, he will support 10 to 15 people to start something valuable. So those ideas are also very much wonderful and to share with you all. Secondly, where Charles, the first batch is there. Yes, I think this is very right step, and we can even link our intra classes and intergroup interactions. We can promote those things so that they can learn, even they are elite class or even they are middle class. But I think everything is important there with the awareness perspective. So we should think about how we can create that opportunities between the interaction and supporting intra-class communications and the projects.